Yeah, so doctor, the doctor that's always talking uh, on behalf of President Trump's staff, I think it's Dr. Fushi or something like that. Either way, he addresses the African American disparity with the coronavirus, and he's like, "Yeah, we knew that would happen basically because black people, they already." He was like, "The coronavirus is going to bring out underlying health issues that y'all community already has. Like basically, if we as African Americans don't start eating right, it's clearly gonna be a wrap for us. We definitely gotta get off this slave diet and get on a plant-based diet because all this pork and stuff like that is giving us hypertension and asthma and diabetes. And at the end of the day, once they come out with these viruses, the people that's been eating the worst, survival of the fittest. So we got to get fit, as a whole, as a people, as a community, uh, as a society, we need to get fit. So that's all I wanted to use the intro for today. I wanted to just throw that out there, totally unrelated, but get fit, people, please get
Yeah, yeah. Put down the poison, man. And if you don't know what the poison is, you need to look at what you probably eating.
fit.
Probably poison.
And today we're going to talk about what is argued. Some people would argue is a poison. I don't think it is a poison. I think it could be a poison just like anything else. But today we're going to talk to you about the fun topic of weed. Brr, 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 brr.
Marijuana.
I'm Marcus,
I'm Thomas.
and that's the intro. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what arguably is the gateway drug. I was told the first time I heard the expression gateway drug, it was told to me that it was marijuana. Um, I later stepped back and took a realize the gateway drug is actually women. And then it's probably alcohol, and then it's gonna be weed. But either way, um, as far as weed is concerned, how do I feel about it? I mean, I think it's the lesser of most evils that's already out there. I think it's less detrimental for you than caffeine, and I think it's much less detrimental than man-made alcohol. Like alcohol of any sort is just poisonous. In my opinion, what you think? Out of all the legal drugs, like if they were to legalize marijuana all across the board right now, do you think it would be the most detrimental thing on the market legally?
I think it would be the most beneficial thing
Ha!
if it became legal. That's what I would think about marijuana. I mean, for me,
Mm.
if you know what I'm saying, if you're in an environment in a state that's where it's legal and you can partake, I feel like, you know, with anything that you do, I think everything has balance, and you just got to find what works for you. And if you do everything responsibly, you got to drink responsibly, you got to live responsibly. I think if you do it responsibly, I think it can have a benefit to your life.
True. I think there are some just negative stigmas and connotations that go behind weed that just aren't true. As a matter of fact, I'd like to coin myself, if I could, as the weed shouldn't stop you from working spokesperson. Um, one, one of my favorite rappers said that, but in real life, people will say it damages your drive and this, that, and the third. I mean, if you're a driven person, you're a driven person. Um, I don't think, I think some things can stop you from that. Weed is not, just because it's other drugs that alter your mind state, like weed, well, more than weed, are far more costly and far more addictive. So when people are when people decide that they like the mind state that that mind altering substance gives them, it costs them money. Weed, it don't really cost. I mean, weed and alcohol cost about the same. Now they can dig into your pockets, but your life isn't going to be turned upside down like if you was doing like cocaine or crack or meth. You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
hard stuff, the hard
yeah, right, right,
stuff.
like real drugs. Like that's going to eat at your pockets. I'm not against it at all. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That's cool. I just, it, I'd like to be able to support any habit that I develop. That's it. Um, but I don't think anything is more natural than weed. Like you have to chemically make, like you have to manufacture alcohol. I could go literally off of a branch, a weed branch, cut the bud, you know what I'm saying, make sure that it's cured, set out in the sun for a while, and you pretty much smoke it. Nothing's wrong with it. Yeah, I don't have to add anything. So that's, you know, and it makes you more peaceful. It makes you consider other people. It makes you consider nature and, the plants and the animals and everything around you. At the end of the day, it's the bush you can burn that'll get you closer to God. I mean, Moses did it. That God spoke to Moses through a burning bush. I think that I don't see why that would stop today.
Right. They say history repeats itself.
Exactly. Exactly. So um I feel like when I was younger, I'm on the whole do what's legal, and if it's illegal, leave it alone. When I'm thinking like that, I'm like, oh well, alcohol has to be better than weed because alcohol is legal. And I'm sitting there, alcohol's ruining my life. It's ruining my relationships. It's ruining, bruh. That joke's ruining everything. Like that joke, it's ruining my body. I remember one time this part is graphic, people, but I one time I went to take a dump, and like it's blood in the toilet. I'm like, bruh, what is happening here? What's going on? And I was in my early 20s. I might have been like 21 at the time. Like, even though at that point I still had been drinking for 6 years. Um, it was still like I was I was like, nah, I can't do this. I gotta try something else.
For
So
sure, for sure.
unfortunately, I wasn't. Well, I was just like, look, let's give weed a try. All my friends, they was always doing it. I just was like, I don't get high when I try it. When I smoke it, I don't get high. And then one day they was like, look, you gotta inhale it, like swallow the smoke, like, and just hold it. Man, from that moment on, I was like, yo, everything's funnier. Food tastes better. Like, what's wrong with that? And I appreciate little things. What's wrong with this? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with any of that. You know what I'm saying? And like you start to think of things in an abstract way. So your problems, whatever problem you couldn't solve at first, you tweak that perspective a little bit, you get a little high and go at the same problem at that different angle. Hey, you're more likely to solve that thing. I've got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you use
got some bad stuff to say about a weed pen, them pens, them oils. Oh my god, I
yeah.
got a panic attack off that joint one time. Uh, like me and my ex at the time we were driving, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm smoking, and like I have to literally pull over, like let her drive. Like that
You
joint's
felt like
terrible.
Red Fox, like Elizabeth.
No, I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like, why my heart racing? Why am I breathing like this? And why is my left arm so it hurts? It hurts. What's going on? Like, so I'm sitting there like trying to be as calm as I can, like while having a panic attack. Like, look, either way, people just stay away from that vape pen, all that. Nah.
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, marijuana rather makes you sleep, hungry, or laugh. So
Right. It makes you like, all right, I'm gonna tell you some things that alcohol has done, and I'm gonna tell you some things that weed has not done. At no point in time in my life have I ever smoked and you know what I'm saying, my man's couldn't work when it was time for him to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like if now if I've been drinking too much, oh nah, my man's he's not responding. He's not gonna work. Like
He's
wake
wasted.
up. Wake up.
Yeah.
He's passed out. He's blacked out. He's like an hour and a half in front of me. So if I know he's blacked out now, I know I'm gonna be like that in like an hour and some change. Like there's a countdown to when I am just as unresponding as this gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Like alcohol, that's terrible. Like who wants that? Like you remember on Superbad when he was like, I shouldn't be blocking your cock. I should be guiding your cock. Right. Every substance that you do should like it should be guiding your cock, not blocking it. So, at that point, um, that's some of those things are the reason why I don't even like if I want to celebrate now, I might drink wine, maybe. That's about it. Other than that, I don't do none of that.
Be responsible people.
Hmm?
I was just saying, just be responsible, and you just got to find what works for you.
Oh, now I know people that can responsibly do like I ain't gonna call no names. I know somebody I've smoked with somebody and then seen him responsibly do shrooms. I didn't even think that was a thing. He
Wow.
responsible. He did it and just went on about his life. I'm like, wow, I'm
Um,
impressed. I am impressed. Um, but I've seen people like I've been a broker for about a year and some change. So I've seen people responsibly or irresponsibly, functionally do a lot of things. I can't call it responsible, but I can call it functional.
right.
I've seen people do a lot of functional things. Um,
Well,
cannot call it responsible at all.
some people have many talents. You know, if you
Some
want to,
people,
if you call that a talent.
I just think God just can't call everybody home at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, according to your ignorance level, he just can't kill everybody. Like, I know for a fact that I was in line before. He was like, look, you ignorant enough to go, but it's just not your time, son. Like, I feel like that's how he feel about some of them people too. It's like, look, I know you call it functioning, but some people just call it a blessing. Like, it's only a matter of time before this cannot keep up for a long time. But at the same time, there's some people who are highly functional.
Right.
Nothing
Yep.
you can do about that.
Right. Yeah. Man, just figure that stuff out, man. And it takes time, man. And
But my thing is, these things I don't know how these other substances make you react, but weed is the only thing that has always made my reaction to a problem better. Like whether it's like a problem I'm having with a friend, my girl, somebody in my family. If I smoke and then handle this problem, it would be better than had I handled this in my sober mind. Sober mind, like basically it teaches you to like stop and think until stopping and thinking becomes a habit, like until that's part of your personality. But stopping and thinking was not part of my personality at first. Like, so I would just say whatever I wanted. I understand how childish that is, but a lot of adults suffer from this childish condition. Um,
that's a
but
little dose of conceptual learning.
what you mean?
Yeah, for you translating it in those two separate
Oh yeah,
ways.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like so. I mean, it's just me noticing what happens or the different things that happen when I'm smoking in the different situations. Um, your networking skills go up. You start. There's certain things you notice as a smoker. Um, it's almost like a whole lifestyle that then changes, which is fun. Like a whole nother world opens up. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty safe. I think I do think that we should be age restricted, but I don't. I think at the age of 15, you should be able to use it to handle trauma or stress. At 18, I think you should be able to use it to celebrate, like on your birthdays, stuff like that. Um, as you're 21, you should be able to get it for other people's celebrations. Like at 18, you can get it for your own celebrations. So 18 to 21, like if it's an event or a party of your own, okay, cool. At 21, you can buy it for parties for you, parties for other people. At 25, that's when you can buy it at will, like it's totally unrestricted. Because I do think that since your brain doesn't fully develop until around the time that you're 25, I do think smoking a certain amount can be detrimental up until that point. But at the same time, I know people that, they got PTSD just from living in the hood, and they need something about that at the age around 13 or 14, you know. So
Gotta find some way to cope, a coping mechanism.
right, because like if your anger is higher, then you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, I would let you smoke a little more weed, but you're a little more likely to, mess something up, you know what I'm saying, destroy the establishment, so to speak.
Yeah.
But um it's a lot easier to study or focus or concentrate when you smoking versus when you're drinking too. Like I think I would have done a lot better in college had I been smoking instead of drinking.
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah. What do you
But
think? You think it would have been better if you had a mentor or some type of
I
role model?
mean, I don't know what that would have had to do with the weed. Like, does not went like I don't like. I think this is a nah. I don't think a mentor would have changed anything at this particular stage or structure, just because a mentor has never been able to stop me from doing something that I wanted to do anyway.
Yeah, you still got the will
Like,
to do
like not
whatever
e-
you want.
right. Not even a mentor now that I have would be like if I said, "Hey, I want to try this," unless they can come up with a laundry list of cons and reasons why I shouldn't do it. Because I mean, I'm willing to listen, but if they can't come up with that, then I'm gonna do it. Um, there's not there's there aren't enough cons in the world for someone to say, "All right, don't smoke weed," unless the government start passing it out. But we ain't gonna go there.
Right.
But at the end of the day, understand that the spirit of the law is a little different than the letter of the law. Understand follow your own set of principles, and that way, because if you follow a man, you don't know when he leads you astray. So you follow your own set of principles, you know, you'll always do what's right. And my set of principles includes weed. But I mean, that's just that's just so I can, for the betterment of my social interactions for right now.
I mean, what I'll say is, I don't know about that age system. I don't know, you know, if they were past that, but I think it was very interesting how you broke it down. Um,
Mm.
I don't know. I think they would have to test that out first and just to see if it had like positive like results from like the
What you
data.
mean? Test what out?
Like when you were saying like, if they had a certain trauma at 15 and
Oh,
16.
nigga, look, because look at the data now. One of the biggest teenage problems we got in America is suicide,
Oh,
and we already have a controlled substance. What happens when we don't let them smoke? Yes, they pull the trigger. So, what happens if we give them a little weed? Now, will they like? Will they be unconventional individuals? Maybe there's a chance that turns out correctly, but there's a chance they keep on living life. You keep telling them they can't smoke to cope with their problems, nigga. They obviously not too young to have problems. You know what I'm saying? Like if problems don't have an age, why do the solutions for the problems have an age? How come you can give a child Ritalin at the age of like 8 or 9, but now they can't make their own conscious decisions or choice on what they want to do until they're older? All right.
Yeah, and that's what life is all about, is decision. Well, part of it,
Right.
definitely a major part of it.
Right. So I think, I mean, at the end of the day, I think kids might be able to make their own decisions a little older. I mean, when they're a little younger, we wait a whole lot of time for 16 or 18 or whatever. And you talk to a 14-year-old, they got enough, they got sense. Like the only thing they don't have is the trial and error version, but they have whatever they think, they're gonna think it until trial and error proves them wrong.
But they definitely need that exposure. I think exposure, just any type of time that they're able to witness any part of it or see any part of it, man, is essential for them, for the kids.
I think we know that God's bush is a little better for you than the man-made nectar we call alcohol and spirits. Yo, the fact that alcohol is called a spirit, that should tell you a lot about what's going on with you when you drink too much. You
And
don't
you don't even remember who you was.
remember what happened, and you go on autopilot or somebody else making decisions for you. Right, in a bottle. It's called wine and spirits, people, but whatever. I digress. But thanks again for tuning in. Once again, I'm Marcus.
Thomas.
Hey, and we out.
Peace.